Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Haloween, and I'm here to do a In Defense of Busta Rhymes Part 2 video defending his character Freddy Harris. I've heard so many people bitch about the martial arts sequence. It's not even funny, and I just watched Halloween Resurrection again on Halloween. I watch all the Halloweens really, 1 through 8, and the original 8 that is. I counted how many times Busta Rhymes threw a kick, and he only throws 3, and he actually only lands 2. The first kick, he connects in to Michael Myers' face. He throws a second kick, and Michael blocks it, which sounds about right, because if you go look, anytime somebody's tried to hit Michael consecutively, he does block them. Go look at Halloween 4, where Brady tries to hit him with the gun. And Michael gets ready to stab Freddy Harris, but Sarah Moyer jumps on his back, wrapping the camera cord of the camera around his neck, and you know, causing a distraction. And it's like this. A lot of these movies, these horror movies, really these fight sequences, I think what people get lost in is about probability and survival. Look, a horror movie fight is about really survival, most of all. It's not like an action movie where it's about justification or even revenge at some point. Now, that does come into play with horror, where you'll get the survivor who's pissed off that their friends got killed. That comes into play. It came into play with Resurrection. Even in the original, in some sense, when Laurie's fighting for her life against Michael. Um, you know, it's also about survival. You know, by the end of a horror movie, it comes down to one person is generally going to survive, and they're going to survive by fighting off the killer or fending them off. And that's just always been how horror is, even prior to Halloween, really. I mean, Psycho's that way. I mean, go watch Psycho. Down in the basement, I mean, that guy who got knocked unconscious by oh shit, I forgot his name now. Norman Bates comes back and fights him again and grabs him, and so, and you have 2 survivors in Psycho. So, you know, I don't get why people bitch about the sequence, about the martial arts sequence. I really don't. I don't have an issue with it one way or the other. I think it's amazing that they did that. I mean, prior to any of the Halloweens, they had never tried it before. They never tried martial arts really to a degree in any of the Halloweens. We never see anyone try to throw a roundhouse kick at Michael. And in this one, we do. And again, only 3 kicks are actually thrown, and 2 land. And the third kick he throws is when Michael flings Sarah off his back, and finally, Freddie Harris gets his attention by saying, "Hey, Mikey, look at me." And look, anytime someone has said Michael's name, he does look at him, so it's not really out of character. And Buster kicks him out the window. Now, is that the end of the movie? No. Obviously, there's the fight in the garage, but there's no kicking there. There's no martial arts there. It's more. Buster Rhymes survives Michael Myers in the garage, I would say, most of all. Buster Rhymes' character, Freddy Harris, survives Michael Myers by pure luck. I mean, really, Michael has every intention of killing everybody in that house, and he damn near does. I mean, that's the thing. Resurrection's body count is interesting, really. When you go back and look at it, look, 3 people die in the opening, and the opening takes place in 2001. well, a full year later in 2002, you have, let's see, the camera guy who gets killed. You have, let's see, the Rudy, the musician guy, the redhead girl, the one guy who gets stabbed in the head. See, there's a couple other people missing. I said the musician guy. But hey, oh, and the blonde haired girl. So the kills are very interesting in Halloween Resurrection, and just I think it's a total of 9 people who get killed in Halloween Resurrection, if I'm not mistaken. So a pretty decent kill count. So really, for them to have 2 survivors wasn't a shock to me. I mean, because it's like this, from a standpoint of Sarah Moyer and Freddie Harris being alive, if Sarah Moyer doesn't wrap that cord around Michael's neck, listen, she knows she's screwed. Listen, there's no way to get out of that house. She tried to get out of the house, before. She couldn't. So now she has to rely on Freddie Harris as much as he has to rely on her. And Michael stabbing him in the shoulder, rendering him unconscious and just forgetting about him. I'm, thinking he actually killed Tina with like a stab to the shoulder and into the chest, but Freddy was more just stabbed in the shoulder. So, and then you have the fight sequence in the garage, and there's no martial arts sequence there. I have no issue with the martial arts sequence. I know many, many do, and it's just mind-boggling to me because it's not like this is the only fight sequence in Halloween history. Hell, Halloween 1 sort of had a fight sequence in a way. You had Laurie Strode, who was injured, fighting off a killer who had not been shot yet. I mean, and she's banged up. She's got a banged up leg and shit. In Halloween 4, you got a guy swinging the butt of a shotgun. Halloween 5, Donald Pleasant shoots tranquilizers and beats him with a 2x4. In Halloween 6, he gets beat with a pipe. I mean, look, fight sequences in horror films, they're just in there, and that's what it is. I have no issue with them, or who doesn't. The one thing I think people get upset about, why people get upset about Halloween Resurrection, is because they can't see past Busta Rhymes as a rapper. They just look at him and say, oh, he's a rapper who's doing karate kicks. And, I do wish they would have gave the character more of a background history. But I do think they kept him, sort of mysterious to us on purpose. I do think there definitely should have been more to him from a past standpoint. I'm not saying connection with Michael, no. I'm saying his past, Freddie Harris's past. We only knew him as that he was in the entertainment industry, and yes, he did know martial arts. That was preferenced in the movie. Should it have been preferenced a little more? Yeah, sure. I've always said that. But though, too, I don't mind the martial arts sequence in Halloween Resurrection, and I think it's come to the point of mind-numbing that people who do. It's like, okay, you mind that, but you don't mind this. I think it's just really, it's not so much about hate, it's about preference. They don't really care for Busta Rhymes as an actor, so they're gonna shit on him doing the stuff he does in Resurrection. And that, like, look, there are actors I don't necessarily like from a playing a character standpoint. Am I gonna shit on their character? No, not necessarily. Not if they play the character good and they bring emotion to the character. I think Buster Rhymes brought a lot of emotion to that character. And it's like this. I've always said this when it comes to Freddie Harris. He did not have to go back and save Sarah Moyer. He could have left because he could have snuck out the garage where Nora was and left. He didn't. He went back in and he fought Michael Myers in his own house. He didn't have some souped up house with booby traps and fire where he could lock him in a room and set him on fire. Hell no. He fought him straight up in his house. Michael had home field advantage, and that, my friends, takes balls. So that's my defense video of Buster Rhymes' character Freddie Harris. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon on my next video.